So this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have to kind of pause it and et cetera, to be able to set things up and whatever. But today, we all know what this is. This is a Kent comb, right? Standard Kent comb, got the larger side and the smaller toothed side, right? This you can get different prices, I know, but there are some of these that are, you know, upwards of almost $20. Why can't we go to the dollar store and get a dollar store comb? Or, you know, a dollar store comb. Yes, I broke the tip on that one. But, you know, you're getting my point, right? Why can't we go to the dollar store and use one of those combs on our beards? Yeah, it's because in between all these teeth, it has little pieces, little jagged pieces that, where when this thing was pressed together or injection molded or however it was made, when that in that process, it leaves these little ragged edges on the side. So today, I'm going to show you how on most combs, not every one of them, but the majority of combs, even ones from the dollar store, you can fix this problem and safely run it through your beard. And a whole lot less damage, if any, in my opinion. I don't think there's any. I've looked at this thing super duper close and there is no lines, no nothing. Okay, so I'm going to get you set up and I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay, I know this isn't the best setup and I obviously should not use a black background on a black comb. But I'm going to lift you up enough to show you. You're going to need one of these. This is obviously a little propane torch, excuse me. You can get these at your local hardware store, Walmart, etc., etc. Okay? So, what you're going to want to do, you can do two different ways. I'm going to show you the easiest way, in my opinion. And if you don't have one of these torches, I'll explain to you the other way and try to make it as simple as possible. You need a super sharp knife or a razor blade would be your best bet. One of those little cheap, you know, razor blades you get from the hardware store. Now what you're going to want to do is take it and get the majority of all that extra plastic off with your blade, right? Just like this. Scrape it all off, all that. That's actually butter. But anyways, you're going to want to scrape all that off, right? When you get the majority of it done, let me set you here. And make sure you're on a flat surface, something that's not going to melt, nothing that's going to, you know, cause you any problems in that aspect of it. You're going to want to take your torch. That's a bit much, right? Let me try it again. You're going to want to turn it down. And when I say turn it down, you're going to want it about like that. Almost like a lighter, but it's a little bit hotter than a lighter, you know what I mean? You can use a lighter for this. It is doable, but this just works easier. Now what you do is you take your flame, point it down, and run it across it like this, real fast. Give it a second to cool off. It helps to flip it over. Run it on this side real quick. Now, what you're going to want to do is let that set for a minute or two. And so what I'm going to do is let this set for a minute or two, and I will be right back with you. It'll take you guys literally a millisecond. Okay, so we're back. It's cooled off. Everything's good to roll. We're going to fire this back up. And make sure when you use a torch, be super careful, guys. I mean, use, you know, some common sense. This is extremely dangerous. If you are under the age, which you shouldn't be watching my video if you're underage, but if you're underage, you should definitely have an adult helping you. But again, that's about how much flame you want. And I'm going to start on the side that I left off on and just slightly get the fire in between the teeth. Go over it real easy. Kind of do it pretty quick. You don't want to stay on one spot very long or you will screw it up. And I will show you what that looks like. So I flip it over. I crank my flame up just a tad more so it gets in between the flames and leaving it alone, right? So at this point, let me blow it off, make sure everything's good to go. All right. Now, as you can see, this one has been done. See if there we go. As you can see, there are no jagged edges. It is 100% good to rock and roll in your beard. Now, I don't use the side that's very thin, but you do the exact same thing on this side, except when you do the fire, you want to do it even less. You want to go and done. And, you know what I mean, let it cool off completely, then flip it over and do that. But that's only for the side that has the real small teeth. The bigger size tines, you can do a little bit more because obviously they're more rigid and much easier to do. Now, my newest favorite comb is this one. You can see it's got huge tines. And the reason I'm doing this, and yes, I have picks, I have actually a few really nice things, like picks wise, but these, you know, I mean, look how small the teeth are on these. I mean, that is just tiny. You know what I mean? And this is not going to go deep enough into my beard to really get in there and separate the hairs. And the main reason I like this one is because it's very close to like a pick. This one I can run down my hair without pushing in on it, and it literally touches my skin. And I mean, it has enough gap in between it that it doesn't give you any dips, any waves or anything, but it still, you know, exfoliates your skin some, and it also detangles your hair. Now, this is what happens when you put too much heat on it. When you don't have your torch down low, that is what will happen, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll show you the do and the don't. I showed you the do. Here's the don't. Don't have your heat up that high to where it's a long flame. Don't sit there and just burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it, because you will make this tiny plastic super soft. See how quick that was? And now it's just completely bent over. Another reason I lay it on this flat surface is because it keeps the teeth straight when you're doing it on one like this. You want your flame, let me show you one more time. You want your flame right around in there. It's still blowing enough, with enough force to get in between the tines, but it's also not a hot enough temperature that it's just going to melt the living fire out of these, and it will quickly. I'll show you on this one. That's all you want to do, right there. Like that quick. Lay it over, let it set for a good solid minute. You can throw it in the fridge or the freezer, and then come back and do the other side. And then it's that simple, guys. It really is, and it's going to save you a lot of money. Give me 1 second, and I'll be right back with you. Now, I know you're going to say, oh, well, it's going to have a stinky burning smell. Got you covered. Take you some dishwashing detergent, like Dawn or Joy or whatever you use. You can even use clothing detergent or soap, hand soap, whatever. Or isopropyl alcohol, something like that, and clean it, and then it will be 100% a-okay. Again, amazing comb. I love it on my mustache, you know what I mean? It's a great comb, but for this, it just does not do the job. So I tinkered around, I figured out how long to do it, how quick to do it, all the flame and everything I showed you. If you do it the way I showed you, I promise you 100% you can take any $1, $2 comb from the dollar store and make it a very smooth, non-jagged edged comb that gets in deep in your beard and gets the job done 100%. Anyway, guys, Tiki, this one mainly was for you, brother. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please hit a thumbs up, thumbs down. Please share my videos. Let's try to see how many people we can get the information out to. Also, if you haven't, maybe think about checking out my other videos. Maybe if I earn a subscription, that would be really cool of you to do that. If not, it's still cool in my book, guys. But besides that, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will catch you guys later.